A few weeks ago, I was doing some research on YouTube, and I came across a whole lot of sites that were, well, just barely thinly veiled misogyny sites. But what surprised me most was how many of these were run by women, aimed at women, who really didn't seem to like or respect women. Have you seen these things? Hi, my name is Rick Higgins. Welcome to Mastering the Second Half. And today, sadly, we're going to be looking through a very dark mirror at how the differences in the sexes are being used in a really negative and polarizing way. Now, I tried to watch these videos, these women-produced instruction videos for women by women videos. I thought they were going to be like parodies, tongue-in-cheek, let's make fun of Neanderthal men kind of thing. But no, they were filled with things like this. Remember way back when? America was great. Men were men and women were women. They weren't too proud to iron and clean house for their men and their families. When their husbands came home from a long day's work, they respected his sacrifice because everybody had their strengths and their duties. Excuse me, but no. Absolutely, unequivocally, no. And here's the sad part. These channels get views. They have tons and tons of subscribers. They're very popular. I'm assuming with the let's go back to the 1932 crowd. But oh my Lord, people are actually watching these things. Now, I get that some of this might be cultural. Like, for instance, I've reached the bottom of the barrel and I am watching a lot of Korean Netflix originals. And you want to see misogyny, you need to watch that stuff. But I digress a little bit. Here in the States, we've made some progress. Now, granted, maybe not a lot, but we are on the path. We are on the correct path of getting past this hatred, this misogyny, this looking down and subjugation of women. I mean, think about it. What are the differences, the real differences in brain power and creativity and everything else that you need to get forth in the world these days? What is the difference between all of that and men and women? The answer is none. There are no differences. Now, maybe there are some physical differences, but honestly, most men can't go play American football. It's not a physical world anymore. And what's up here is exactly the same regardless of male or female. Which gets me back to my confusion, my point about these websites, these women creating websites to teach women to be weaker, to be inferior. I don't know what's worse, that they actually believe this stuff and are preaching the good word of let's be underneath men in all way, shape, or form, or if these women are actually trying to just use this popular thread among men to market and to make money. I think that latter one might even be worse. Now, why do we split men and women into separate lanes and keep them separate in society? Why do we want that? Now, I get it why it started. Men, well, we kind of took over the world and we don't want to give up our grip on power. I understand that. We call it heritage, I suppose. And even worse, we've had a lot of examples as of late of what really truly hateful and ignorant men can be. But we should really kind of be past that part of the program by now, shouldn't we? Now, look, this is not feminism. It's not feminism in any way, shape, or form. It's humanism. Using labels to suppress and subjugate anybody is just plain wrong. And sadly, this video, well, I got nothing as far as how to prevent this, how to get on top of it, how to stop it. This has been going on for a very long time, and I'm not going to solve it with an 8-minute video. But honestly, talking about this stuff is one of the big next steps that we all should take if we do want to get on top of it and conquer it and get to where we should be. Now, this channel does spend a lot of time discussing the genders and the differences between them in terms of relationships and sex and emotions and thoughts, but we don't do it, I don't do it in a hierarchical way. And the reason is there is no hierarchy. There are differences. Yes, men and women can think differently. And even within one of those genders, individuals in that group can think differently. And it's fine to look at that. It's fine to analyze how people do think differently because that way we can learn. But I don't use them to say one is better than the other, that we should have a ladder where one is here and one is there. That is something I will never do. Now, like I say, I don't have a whole lot more to tell you about this. I did find in my research a lot of other channels where different oppressed groups were actually being force-fed oppression by the people that are in that oppressed group. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But I think the first thing you and I and everyone needs to do is just focus on love. First and foremost, love. Because if we love each other, then how can we hate each other and how can we subjugate each other? I mean, yeah, we're different in a lot of ways. You are probably very different from me, regardless of whether it's gender, skin color, religious views, or whatever else we got. But we need to learn to end the hate. We need to learn to have a big old group hug. And we need to learn to come together. Because otherwise, how are we ever going to move forward if we're always trying to throw somebody behind? Be healthy, be happy. We'll talk to you real soon.